Okay, I have bought the OM Systems OM3, and it was the most difficult gear acquisition decision that I've ever had to make. There were a couple of reasons why I had to consider the question of, is this the right camera at the right time? Do I need it or do I just want it? And I had to argue with myself. It took a month. I argued backwards and forwards. Yes, I will. No, I won't. Yes, I will. No, I won't. And look, just in case you're wondering, it has nothing to do with the size of the sensor, nothing to do with dynamic range or image noise, none of those myths that float around the Micro Four Thirds system. I'm an old Micro Four Thirds user and a contented one, so it wasn't that. It was two other things. One was, I already have two cameras. Do I need another one? Well, of course I don't. So that was a powerful argument against buying the camera. The other thing that I had to consider, which was more personal and more difficult, was my age. I am now 3 years past the official use-by date for the average Australian male. This means, in Shakespeare's terms, if all the world is a stage, I'm certainly closer to the exit than I am to the entrance. And this brings with it some other factors that I had to take into consideration when thinking about buying a new camera. I mean, not just the length of time left to me to use it, but also the fact that with age come certain infirmities. And in my case, it's limited mobility. I can't walk very far. If I walk 50 metres, my feet and legs give out and say, nope, that's it, we're going home. That means that if I bought a camera, I wouldn't be able to go out into the bushland looking for birds, as I've done in the past. I wouldn't be able to go into the city looking for street opportunities or photographing parades or festivals, which is also something that I like doing. So I would have a camera which I was having difficulty imagining how I would use it. Now, as I said, I wanted it. Sometimes emotion takes over from reason, and we do things for reasons which are difficult to explain to anybody else. 2025 happened to be the 50th anniversary of my first Olympus camera purchase, which was an OM1 single lens reflex. A beautiful little camera which accompanied me to Britain on a couple of trips and to Africa. And it was a camera I enjoyed using, but I also enjoyed looking at it because it was a thing of austere beauty, the finest example of industrial design, the masterpiece of the Olympus designer Maitani. And so when the OM3 came along, an almost perfect replica of the OM1, I was overwhelmed with nostalgia. I wanted to have one. A friend of mine has one. I handled it. I looked at it. I felt it in the hand and how it works. And from that moment on, I made the decision, as foolish as it might be, I want one of these cameras. So I bought one. Now the question is, a camera is a device for taking photographs. How am I going to take photographs? And I thought, well, I suppose I could accept that my limited mobility is a challenge. What if I imagined an area around the house, a circular area defined by a radius of 5 steps from the front door or the back door, and I look for photo opportunities within that restricted area? And so that's what I've been doing for the past month. I've looked closely around the house at things that I suppose in the past I wouldn't even have given a second glance. But now I'm looking at everything as a potential photograph. And so I've set myself the goal of taking at least one photograph a day, every day, and these are some that I've come up with in the past month since I started on this challenge. Now there comes a time when you run out of things to photograph. So what do you do then? Well, you fall back on the selfie. I know, a selfie, but I mean, consider this. Rembrandt took selfies, and if selfies are good enough for Rembrandt, then selfies are good enough for me. Here's mine.